New World Order, you underestimated the people. You took a gamble and you lost.
Okay, we don't like this. Okay, well then we're going to do this, and that is just how it's going to be.
Evidence brought to light that there is a corrupt officer, or that officer did shoot that kid on purpose.
I don't care how I look, I don't care how I sound, I don't care what the beat is. I just care the message gets across.
What's up, everyone? This is the Tin Man with the Resistance. If you're watching this, you are the Resistance. And today, as a special treat, I've got my buddy Matthew on the phone. Now, Matthew is a very good friend of mine from way back in the day. In fact, we've been friends since we were little kids. And what we're going to be discussing today is the topic of not only Donald Trump, but also the racial divide taking place in the United States. And this is an interesting topic considering I'm a white guy and my friend Matthew here is a black guy. Yeah, despite contrary to popular belief, I am not a racist and actually have black friends.
Yes, it's true.
It's true, it's true. Alright, so Matthew, take it away. Tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
I'm just a hardworking man, just trying to survive like everybody else.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with Donald Trump. Where are your political stances with him?
Honestly, I think they just go to show you that I don't think he's gonna be good for the country because all he cares about is money. You know?
I feel that.
And he's gonna care more about his businesses than he's gonna care about his own country.
Yeah, I can understand that. Do you think that him being president and him also being a businessman running various business projects and having various business connects and deals, you think that's going to interfere with his job as presidency, especially as it relates to foreign policy, job policies, international trade, and so on?
I will just have to wait and see. I mean, if the man's a man's a word of what he says, and then we're just gonna go by what he says. I mean, this is a whole new era that we're in, and you know he's gonna be the president. So we just gotta go and just see if he leads the country like he says he's gonna lead the country.
Yeah. Who would you have voted? I'm not even going to ask who you voted for. Let's just say, do you buy into the whole left-right paradigm, the whole only two choices thing, or do you explore the other candidates and accept that there's more to an election than just Republican and Democrat?
I didn't get that last question.
Basically, what I'm asking is not so much to review your political standpoint, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, or what. Do you subscribe to solely the left-right paradigm that it only ever comes down to Republican versus Democrat, or do you take into consideration the other candidates as well, like Green Party, Independent, so on and so forth?
Honestly, I don't think it's like whoever, America already made the vote. They already know who they're going to vote for. So it doesn't matter if I voted 200 times. They already know who they want for president anyway.
Well, on that note, they're doing the recounts and everything as per Hillary Clinton. Do you think there was voter fraud that Trump conned his way into being president-elect?
See, that takes me back when they had the same issue with President Bush.
Yeah, it is kind of reminiscent of that. I found it funny that Trump was bitching that the election was going to be rigged and that if he didn't get elected, he was going to investigate everything. And then Clinton rebutted with saying that if anybody who investigates the official results is un-American and a threat to national sovereignty, but now she's demanding recounts and everything. Isn't that kind of a double standard right there? Isn't that a bit hypocritical?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think there should be a recount. If they're not too sure of themselves on what they do, then why not? I would recount it just to be sure to make sure
Yeah,
you
just
have
make
the
sure
right
everything was
answer for
legit.
everything.
Well, I don't think it would be un-American to investigate the official results or even consider it a threat to the national sovereignty to question the outcome of a presidential election, regardless of who the winning party was. I mean, if you want to know the truth, you have a right to know and investigate the truth.
Right.
But this has definitely spread a great deal of contention and problems ever since the electoral votes were shown and Trump was shown to be the winning party. You've had the riots, the looting, the protests, many of which have been linked back to George Soros, who's actually hiring and paying people to protest, riot, and loot, and so on and so forth. You can actually look it up. There's actually an online application to where you can go to work for George Soros as a protester. So I found that to be quite interesting. But nonetheless, there is and has been a great divide in the United States, particularly regarding race, and it's only getting worse and worse, especially considering what's been happening with the police violence and everything else. It seems like the African American community, so to speak, is feeling that they are being targeted specifically. Now, as a Black American yourself, how do you look at all this? Do you feel that you're being discriminated against or being isolated or anything remotely relating to segregation or separatism because of the color of your skin? Hello? I think I lost him. Hey, you there, bro?
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I think we got cut off. What I was asking was, do you feel that you are being in any way discriminated against because of the color of your skin in any way, shape, or form by police or even just people not of your ethnicity?
Honestly, I've been pulled over by the police a couple times. And actually, no, I have not. It just goes about how you carry yourself when you approach the police,
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, just tell them the truth. Because eventually, if you lie to them, they're gonna find out anyway, and that makes it bad for yourself. That makes it worse for yourself. If you be honest with them, don't lie, don't try to cut any corners and shit. Honestly, it goes a long way. If you be more honest with the police instead of trying to lie to them and think that all cops are bad. It just goes how you carry yourself because they have to perform a job and a duty, as to protect themselves also.
Yeah, it's kind of a
But
give and take
but
thing.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I have not been discriminated or just been you know, or anything like that.
Do you feel that a lot of this has to do with discrimination, or do you think it's more of just corrupt people in positions of power taking advantage of less fortunate people, and it's just being perpetrated as a racial issue rather than just an issue of corrupt people in power versus the people?
I think that's what it is that people think just because they have a little more than somebody else that they're better that they're better than that person. You know, that's not how the way it should be. You know,
Yeah,
just because you have something better than somebody else is because you worked hard for it or you're giving it to you. You know,
yeah,
but don't think you're better than that next person because there's always someone better than the next person. They, you know,
yeah. There's
there's
always somebody who has
there's
something
always
more than
someone
you.
there's always gonna be someone bigger. There's always gonna be someone better than you. You think you're on top of the world. There's always someone above someone else. You know
There's always a bigger fish.
exactly. You
Yeah.
know.
So, what do you think of this racial divide? Do you think it's being propagated by the media to make it seem like people are more racist against blacks and Hispanics, or do you
I,
do you think that there is a legitimate racial issue at play?
Honestly, I think racism shouldn't exist now, bro. It shouldn't even still exist because we're having co mixed relations and relationships. You know, it's like people see beyond that now, and and us as people, we should be past that.
Yeah,
You know,
agreed.
we should be past that. One race should stick one race. That shouldn't be about that. You know, race is not like it's not a color. I want to say because like
Yeah, basically.
how do you love someone from within if you know how do you love someone's heart if you can't love their outside? You know what I'm saying?
Look at what's on the inside, not what's on the outside, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can agree with that wholeheartedly. And but it is being propagated in the media, and even the current president, Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, have been propagating this whole racial divide, saying that Americans are more racist than they ever have been, and that minorities are being targeted unfairly more so than they ever have been. Historically, that's not accurate, and even in recent years, the question has to be asked, and I want to get your opinion on this. The question has to be asked: if the nation was so prejudiced against blacks and Latinos as the president has suggested, how did he get elected in the first place? It doesn't make sense. Either you're right and everybody's racist, and you conned your way into office by voting fraud, or you wouldn't have gotten elected under that premise. So which is it?
Exactly.
Either the nation is that racist, or they're not. What do you think?
I think I don't think the nation's racist. I just think they saw an opportunity to make history. You
Yeah.
know, we had a chance to make history again, but we passed on it for some reason. I don't know why. You
History
know,
will
we had
always be history, my friend. Good or bad, history will always be made. Somebody will always
yeah,
find a way to leave their mark in the
yeah,
world. So, you know, any president-elect, whether George Bush, Clinton, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, anybody from the foundation of this country had an opportunity to leave their mark in the history books as a great leader or a failure.
Right.
Yeah, prime example of failure, fucking Richard Nixon at Watergate. Yeah, so well, yeah. Do you think that either of the candidates were really good choices as far as this election was concerned? Do you think that we could have done better as a nation rather than Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton?
I think we could have, yeah.
Say that again?
I think we could have selected some better candidates than those two.
More than
I
definitely.
mean, shit, Michelle Obama could have ran for president. I would have voted for her ass.
I can't say I would necessarily agree with you on that one, but you and I have different political views. Me, I have the standpoint of I am neither a Republican or Democrat. I'm an American. I want the best candidate that's going to do what's in the best interest of the people, not the best interests of the corporations backing them.
Yeah.
That's always been my premise. So
That's why I agree. Also, it's like we should be, like I said, we should be cast on.
Yeah.
Racism goes back thousands of years, man. It's like, come on. It's like, really, we're still fighting over the same shit.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about the college students a while back? This was a little while back, but I never really got someone's perspective on this. The black students at various colleges were actually at one point petitioning for segregation. What do you think about that?
What was the question?
Basically, a while back, this was not that long ago, but not too recent, black college students were petitioning to have their colleges segregated. Basically, going back to post-Martin Luther King, where you had to have separate drinking fountains, separate bathrooms, separate walkways from other ethnicities.
I don't think it should have that. I think that's ridiculous. That's just pretty much saying where you can walk, where you can piss. That's just pretty much telling you where you can pretty much piss and walk and stuff. I mean, that's not freedom right there, bro.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about black students demanding that when not even a century ago that was happening, and that's what the African American community fought so hard to get rid of because they wanted to be treated as equals.
Yeah. But for them, I couldn't answer for them because they have a different perspective on life or different things, different views. But it's like, they can't sit here and ask to be treated, with equal rights when they want to go back. When they want to go back to all that, when we're trying to move forward, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're trying to get past all that.
I agree. Do you think that maybe it's just a factor that today's youth, the privileged generation that we are currently bringing up, do you think that... Hold on a second. What?
This movie's over.
Okay, then go put in another one, dude. Sorry, my nephew. Edit that. Back to what I was saying. Do you think that today's youth is a little more ignorant to history and especially aspects of the civil rights movement, the revolutionary, or not the revolutionary war, but the Civil War, and all these aspects that got society to where it is today, where everybody is on a level playing field? Do you think they're ignorant?
Hold on, man. You're breaking up. I didn't get that last question. You're like breaking up real bad.
Okay, basically what I'm asking is, do you think that today's youth is ignorant to historical aspects such as the civil rights movement and the Civil War that led us to being on equal ground? Do you think they're ignorant to those dynamics?
I agree. I kind of, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's kind of a touchy subject, I know,
yeah, it is.
considering we're like on the borderline of the youth as is, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, as a Black African American, what would you say has been the difference between the way you live your life and how many people quote live their lives? You know, namely African Americans who embrace the thug life mentality. You know, gangs, shit like that. You know, how would you view your life in comparison to those who live the thug life, so to speak?
Um, those those that you know do do that thug thing and shit, man. They do because they think there's no consequences, man. I mean, that's why we have our freedom today, man. It's like, why you wanna continue killing each other when we fought, all hundreds of years, and you still trying to continue to kill each other with this thugging and all the other bullshit. It's like, for what, you know?
Yeah.
We should be at a better place right now without the violence and the gang life and all the other shit that's going on, man. Because it's like really is it really worth it?
I
You
agree.
know?
And growing up with you when we were kids, you know, I don't remember a lot of my childhood on account of my accident. But even after that, you know, when I would visit you at your house or you would visit me at my house and our parents would be hanging out, if either one of us got in trouble, rest believe our mamas whooped our ass.
Exactly.
They weren't about taking any of that. You're going to be a little punk shit. They weren't having it. Do you think?
No, they wasn't.
Do you think that the way these kids were raised has a lot to do with how they're acting now, living these thug mentality?
Exactly. Yeah. Or it's that, or it's because they don't have the father figures in their life, or they don't have the role models in their life, or some active for them to do. Besides being out in the streets or going to the gym, going to the park, or it's like you can't really. It's that safe, so you can't even go to the park without something happening. You know,
Yeah.
and that's what I feel for these for these kids and some of these kids growing up today. And it's like you know, they need to be more active in activities and stuff like that, and instead of being surrounded with all that violence and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. And you're a father yourself. You know, you and your baby mama, you're not together anymore, but you're still in your son's life. The mother is still in her son's life. You know, you co-parent very well. And I'm sure you guys are pretty much on the same page as to how you want your child to be raised. What would you say to those who don't have that, who either are growing up in a house where one of the parents is not around, or even somebody who's a father or a mother who doesn't have anything to do with their kids?
Um, it's hard. It'll be hard for that child because it's like before you know it, You see your kids. You see instead of seeing your kids on in sports, you see your kids on the news, and it's like, really? What am I? It's like there's got to be something I'm doing wrong here, you know. You
Yes.
know, and it's like I know what I want. I want another. So I know what I want for my son, and she knows what she wants for her son, and we're both on the same page with that. And
Yeah.
you know, two parents are not on the same page, then you know the kid's not. He's not gonna go right. He's gonna see things a different way. You know.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
like you gotta show that love for that kid,
well,
no matter what.
how would you and your baby mama raise your kids versus how kids are being raised today? Well, what would you guys consider the key differences there?
Uh, we're just. I want to say I'm more mature at my age. You know, what I mean, she's already had kids herself. You know, from a previous relationship. Um, we just know. I mean, you just know what to do. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not about preparing. It's just about being ready in that moment. You know.
Well, let me
I mean,
reiterate the question.
and
Sorry,
then
go ahead.
it just goes back to how you're raised when you're growing up and what your mom would do, you know, to show you the ways and everything.
Yeah. Well, I can't say
That's
I
what I do.
exactly had the best upbringing. You can attest to this. My mom beat the living shit out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't exactly the model parent, you know. But as far as how you would raise your kids, what would you say are some elements that you would incorporate as a parent to make sure that your child came up right?
Make sure that I'm in his life. You know, that I'm there for everything.
Yeah.
That you know, just to make sure, just to tell him that I love him. That I tell him I love him every day. That he knows that I'm there.
Yeah.
Just to know that he has that secure, that he knows that I'm always gonna be there for him.
Yeah. What would
That
you con-
that he
I'm sorry, go ahead.
that he knows that he will have nothing to worry about. That he knows that he's gonna be okay.
That's good. I like that.
You know.
I like that. As far as like disciplinary measures are concerned, what would you consider an effective level of discipline? Because you know the government interferes a lot in those affairs. You know you can't whip your kids. You know depending on what state you're in, you can't do certain things to your kids anymore that our parents could get away with, hands down. I mean, our most parents today can't exactly whoop their kids' ass with a wooden spoon or anything like that without getting CPS called on them. What would you
Yeah.
say is an acceptable level of discipline that's still within the parameters of the law that would result in your kids coming up right?
I think there's it's the difference between disciplining and abusing your kid. If you just straight whooping your kid's ass just for the hell of it, that's of course that's abuse. But if you trying to teach a kid a lesson so that he doesn't do it again, I think I think every child should experience that one good ass whooping, so they know never to do it again. So they know so that way that's how they learn. You know, this so that they know what's right and what's wrong. You know,
Yeah.
because it's like if you keep telling them no, don't do this, no, you're gonna get tired of saying no all the fucking time. You're gonna get and you're gonna just need to let them know like you mean business. You know,
Yeah, gotta
it's
crack the
like
whip sometimes.
it's like if I'm putting food in your mouth, clothes on your back and shit, and I'm putting a roof over your head and I'm taking care of you, you're gonna respect me, but don't. But I also love you, and it's like you want nothing but the best for them.
Yeah.
You want to try to give them. You want to try to give them the things that you couldn't get. You know. You want them to have a. You always want them to have a better life than you.
Of course. I think most parents want that for their kids, but people get caught up in the struggles of everyday life, and they just get overwhelmed and just say the hell with it and let their kids go, and then the kids get to the point where they're out of control and they don't have control over their kids anymore, and that's where trouble starts to brew. And then they're winding up on the news instead of
Because they
seeing
don't
in
have
the
that
store.
structure. They need to have that structure. It's like you don't start that early structure, and then it's like it's too late because it's like it's like as kids getting older and more technology is coming out, and it's it's getting crazy. I mean, but it's like today's kids is are something else. Today's kids are not like when we were growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, I remember your mama whooped your ass quite a few times. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
Your mama didn't take shit. By the way, send your mama my love, man. I haven't talked to her in a while.
Yeah. I will.
Yeah. So, back to the racial thing. Um, you have people who are legitimately racist, but what are your views about people who joke about it? I've addressed this in past videos where, and pardon the vernacular here, a lot of African Americans will sit there and call each other nigga and stuff like that. Do you necessarily agree with that?
Um. Yes, and no. I mean, it's a word. I mean, it's a word. I mean, it's a word, but it's like, but we shouldn't let like words like that affect us. I mean, we know who we are as people.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying we're perfect. I mean, we let it get to that part, get to that bad, this way.
Yeah. So
I mean,
basically what you're saying is there's a fine line between positive use and negative use of a particular vernacular.
exactly.
Like, you could joke, but the second you cross that line and are getting serious about it, that's when it becomes a problem.
Exactly.
Like,
You know.
example, I've got a coworker who's African American, and
Uh,
he and I pop racial jokes on each other all the fucking time. He calls me a white cracker, and I go, "It's a Guido, motherfucker." We'll pop off like that all the time. Like, don't you make me put up my clan scarecrow to protect my watermelon patch. We'll joke about that kind of shit all fucking night long.
Yeah. I got friends like that too, bro. I got a buddy I work with like that too, man.
Yeah.
I know how it is,
Yeah, but
And that's life, man.
yeah, and,
That's
and and you have that kind of relationship with these people because you know them so well, you get along so well, you can actually joke like that and it not be a problem. Whereas if
hmm
somebody didn't know, as if you did that to somebody you didn't know, that'd be a problem because they don't know you. They don't know that you're joking. They don't know that you're doing it in good fun, and it's often taken out of context, and you made out to be a racist.
yeah,
Or if I
exactly.
say, and again, pardon the vernacular here, I made a video a couple years back titled "Barack Obama is a nigger," and that was the first words out of my mouth in the video. And I'm
Mm.
attributed as being a racist because of this. But I explained my reasoning. The historical meaning of the word is to be ignorant, and the fact that given the things that were happening, it seemed that Barack Hussein Obama, our president and commander in chief, was being ignorant to the needs of the people. And that was the whole premise of the video. And they go, well, why don't you just say that? Why didn't you just call him ignorant? And I go, 2 simple words: shock factor. Controversy creates cash. That's why I did it. Doesn't mean I'm racist. I mean, you and I have been friends since we were what, 5 years old, and we're now in our 30s. I mean, have I ever given you any inclination that I'm racist or that I dislike you because of the color of your skin or anything like that?
Right.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had that issue.
No, never.
Yeah, I mean, I think after we're what, 32, 33 years old now. Met each other when we were 5, so we were talking about 27 years of friendship. No racial issue present whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I think there's a fine line between real racism and joking or even just using a particular term to convey a particular message.
Mm-hmm.
I think we kind of covered pretty much everything that we could. Is there anything you would like to add? Any thoughts, opinions whatsoever that you would like to add before we close this?
No, that's pretty much it, man.
Anything you want to say to the African American community who feel that they're being treated unfairly or unequal, or that buy into this racial divide bullshit? Is there anything you'd like to say in response to that?
Just us as black people. I mean, we you know, we just gotta, just keep it moving. I mean, we just gotta keep it moving, take it one day at a time. I mean,
just try to be better people,
tomorrow,
basically, right?
Trying to be better. Try to better ourselves. That's all we can do.
I agree. That's a very beautiful sentiment right there. But anyway, I think we're going to go ahead and close this off. We've been going for about 40 minutes. Don't want to keep these videos too long. And for those listening, thank you for having tuned in. This is the Tin Man with the Resistance. If you are watching this, you are the Resistance.